Hello. I'm ramesthegeneric, and I'm going to be showing you how to record some training data for you to submit to the dataset. So firstly, we're going to need two things. One is a recording software to, record the images captured from your Babble setup. For this, I am going to just use OBS. And secondly, you're going to need a video editor. In this case, I'm just going to be using Blender, as it's free and it does exactly what we need it to do. So firstly, you're going to need to download this file here, this tuning folder. What it contains is the reference footage with all the shapes that you need to follow, a list of the blend shapes contained in each video file, some tools to get the video feed from OpenIRIS serial cameras, and a folder with the correct file structure for you to render all of your images to. Let's set up our capture setup. So inside of OBS, we are first going to configure our canvas size to be the proper size we need. So in this case, we're going to target 240 by 240. So I'm going to head to video, configure that here, doing all this through pass-through. And then if you'd like, you can adjust your file output path. Just make sure you know where all these clips are going to be saved to. Everything looks good for me. So now we're going to add our capture source. In my case, I'm going to be using an OpenIRIS ESP cam. However, if you're using just a regular UVC camera or an IP camera, you can just add it through one of these OBS capture sources. So browser for IP cameras and video capture device for UVC cameras. So here I have an executable here that is just this script that's in the source file. So you could either run it from source or you can run this executable. So I'm going to enter my COM port. In this case, it's COM9. If you don't know your COM port, you can check it in Device Manager and it should be under COM ports. But yeah, you can see I have my video feed here. And so now I'm just going to capture this window in OBS. Alrighty, looks good. Now, from here, I'm just going to start recording myself following these references. I'm going to record one clip per reference video, and then I'm going to stop recording. So in this case, I'm going to just go top down just for the sake of consistency. But yeah, let's get started. If you were maybe paying attention, I actually messed up a few of them by accident. Some of these are longer than they should be, but that's fine because we're going to trim them to length in Blender or whatever video editor you pick. And make sure you keep your trimmed footage folder open because we're going to need them in Blender. We're going to open up our Blender video editor, and we can either just load up a new video editing template here, or if we close out of that, we can go File, New, Video Editing. First thing first, we're going to change our resolution to 240. That's 250. Alright. Before I import anything, I'm going to change my output directory to the first clip I'm going to edit. So in this case, I'm going to navigate to my footage user folder. And before I set anything, I'm going to rename this to differentiate myself. Now, you can either put your name if you want, or if you don't want that, you can just type in random string of numbers, random string of characters, whatever. Just make sure it's something different so I can combine them all in the end. In this case, I'll just do SDF because, yeah. And so like I said before, I have a bunch of directories already laid out in this folder. We're just going to render out each clip as a video sequence into each one of these folders, and that way they should have the exact amount of frames we're looking for. So I'm going to start with ape smiles. This path, I'm going to Blender, accept. Now we're going to change our file format to PNG, 8-bit color depth, compression, set to whatever you want, to 70, and then black and white. Let's import our first reference clip. Ape smiles. I'm going to import this. And so for Blender, I'm going to set the frame end, or I'm going to set the end frame to this number here, which is the amount of frames this clip contains. Just make sure that your clip is aligned at the start of 1 here. Next, we're going to import our recorded clip. In my case, it should be this first one. I'm going to put it above the reference. I can delete this audio track because I don't need it. You can do what you want. Now I'm going to make this slightly transparent so I can actually see it. Did I mess up my recording? Okay, so it seems like I have messed up my recording somehow. I suspect it's because of the frame size I chose of 240. Perhaps 256 would have been better. In my case, I just had to adjust my transforms. So offset by 8, half of what my crop was on my right side. Anyways, now I'm going to set my transparency to a level to where I can see both. And then I'm going to try and align the two. So I can see in the reference, I just start there. See, I didn't quite do it perfectly, but I'm just going to line it up the best I can. Once I have it aligned once I have it aligned in a way I think it's acceptable, I'm going to render. To do that, I just did Control F12 to render as an image sequence, or you can just go to render animation. And now I'm just going to repeat this for the rest of my clips. Okay, now that I've recorded all my clips and exported them, I'm going to archive this folder so I can upload it. I'd really appreciate it if you just do it like how I did it here, so that way I can just export them all at once and not have to move a billion gajillion images around. I've done that before with the synthetic ones and it was not fun. But yeah, afterwards you would just upload this to Google Drive or something, and I will download it from there. Alrighty. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me, and I will be happy to assist you. And just thank you for contributing data and making it so I'm not the only face in the data set. So, woohoo. Anyways, happy babbling. Bye now.